if you're a panfish angler and you're looking for some new plastics to mix into your arsenal, then you need to check out these new pan candy plastics from Northland. They actually have 5 different profiles. All of them are unique. They all have their own application, and we're gonna run through all of them. But one thing that they do all have in common is the fact that they're all made of TPE material. And what's great about TPE material is, number one, you can catch 1 million panfish on them. They're very, very durable. And number two, the plastic itself is very, very soft, which means you don't have to put a lot of action into these baits to get some really good action. So without further ado, let's jump into the different profiles that Northland is offering. Okay, first up we have the Pan Candy Minnow. And obviously this is gonna be a universal shape. It comes in 8 different colors. So whether you're fishing in dingy water, whether you're fishing in clear water, you know, no matter what the forage is in the system you're fishing, there are colors that are gonna match up. And as you'll see, there's gonna be a lot of different color options in all these plastics, but the Minnow is a good universal profile. This is something that you see a lot of anglers use in southern reservoirs, but it also is applicable all the way from down south all the way up to Canada. So it has a nice bulky profile that actually thins out really well into a split tail at the end here. So just a good universal all around minnow imitating profile that I think you're gonna get a lot of application out of, but we're gonna move on to the next one. Now let's look at the Pan Candy Grub, and Northland actually has a bigger version of this in their walleye plastics lineup, but this is a 2-inch plastic, just like the Minnow that we just showed you. The Pan Candy Grub, 2 inches, comes in 8 different colors, but what I love about this is that you're gonna get unlimited action with a nice slim profile. So this tail is extremely thin, it's made of that TPE plastic, and that thing can basically be sitting still in the water and this tail is gonna have action. So what's cool about it is it's gonna be really versatile. You can vertically jig this, you're gonna get action out of it, but you can also cast it out and swim it, and that tail is gonna be kicking and doing a lot of good stuff. So I can already tell you this is gonna be one of my favorite in the Pan Candy lineup. Next up, we have the Pan Candy Crawler, and just like the Pan Candy Grub, this is a tiny little micro version of one of the profiles that Northland has in their walleye lineup. So what's cool about this one is it has a nice thin profile, and then it has sort of a unique tail shape that ends in a spade tail at the end. So you can actually take a little scissor and cut this and fork it if you want. So this is something that you can modify a little bit, but I love that this plastic has that nice thin profile. It has a ton of action just based on how the tail is shaped with its kind of, you know, unique shape. You get a ton of action when you're jigging this bait. So this is a really cool option, and this one is actually a little bit smaller than the last 2 baits that we showed you. This one's just 1.75 inches. So the first 2 plastics were 2 inches. This one is 1/4 inch smaller. So this is a great profile. You know, when you need to downsize from that bigger minnow profile, you can get something that you're gonna get some bites on. So just like the first 2 plastics in the lineup, this one also comes in 8 different colors. So that is the Pan Candy Crawler. And this one is also gonna be one of my favorites in the lineup, I'd say. All right, here's one for all you folks that like more of a tube-shaped profile for panfish. This is the Pan Candy Larvae Bug. And for me, when I look at the shape of this plastic, it kind of reminds me of one of those creature tubes that you see bass anglers using. But this little mini tube profile is really popular in the panfish world. This particular plastic is 1.75 inches, just like the crawler that we just talked about. So it's a really cool profile, and it also has these little wings at the end, which kind of change the action and the shape of the plastic a little bit. So the Larvae Bug is another neat one, and I know that's gonna be a big one in a lot of people's tackle boxes because I personally have a few buddies that love that little tube style profile. All right, for the 5th and final profile, we have the Pan Candy Leech. And this thing is absolutely perfect if you want something that's smaller, thinner, and more bite-sized. And I would say this is the best and most durable little micro panfish plastic that you're gonna be able to find on the market. What's really cool about it, it has a little bit more bulk towards the head, and then it thins out kind of in the middle, and then bulks up a teeny bit in the tail. So this is gonna be great when you're jigging in the water. It's gonna have a lot of action, and just like all these plastics, because it's made of TPE, it's extremely, extremely durable. You're gonna be able to catch tons and tons of fish on one plastic. So the Leech is another one that I'm definitely gonna have in my arsenal. I'm definitely gonna have ready, just because sometimes for me, a lot of the panfish that I'm chasing, sometimes you need that smaller profile to get bites. So, you know, in some places guys are using big plastics. For me, this is a great profile. When things get a little bit more finicky, we're fishing a lot of clear water up north. 1.25 inches, so like I said, very small, and it also comes in 8 different colors as well, just like everything else. So that's the rundown on the 5 different profiles in the Pan Candy lineup. Really cool plastics. I think if you're chasing panfish this spring, this summer, this fall, all year long, these are gonna be great options. So make sure you check them out, northlandtackle.com, and also your local retailers as well.